Well, right now, Brian, Natalie, the protesters are being kept across the street by Chicago police. Also, this police tape has gone up, keeping them on the north side of the street. And over here by the quad, things have been shut down. The fences are up, and they are just removing the last items from that quad after a massive cleanup all morning. Almost over now. Up to 200 protesters had been encamped here for more than 2 weeks, and they are calling for a free Palestine and divestment in companies that support Israel. But after a large number of police arrived here around 5:30 this morning, carrying batons and wearing their riot helmets, that camp was shut down. A couple of protesters described students being hit with batons. Police say that's not true. They left on their own. We talked to Henna Ayesh, a sophomore, who described a chaotic scene this morning.
The cops came at 5:30. I know they're publicly stating that they gave us a warning. There was no warning given, so I don't know where they're giving that. They're, taking that from. Students, obviously, they didn't give them even a chance to get their belongings. They just kicked them out right away, and they threw all their belongings in the trash. A lot of people's belongings are still in there, and they can't go back to get them.
Police do say there were 2 arrests today for obstruction of traffic, but other than that, they say there was no resistance and that the protesters did leave. Once again, their protests continue. They say they will continue to protest even though the tents are gone. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you, Roseanne. The Jewish United Fund is on DePaul's campus right now in response to the Palestinian encampment clearing.
We're joined right now by Lonnie Nassiter, the president of the Jewish United Fund. Thanks for being here this morning. So what is your response to the clearing of that encampment at DePaul this morning?
We were relieved. It's gone on far too long. I'm proud of the fact the president didn't capitulate with these disruptors and students, or for that matter, adults that aren't students, who really violated DePaul's own policies and, quite frankly, city ordinance as well for the last 2 weeks. It was about time that these acts of intimidation and disruption ended.
What do you make of, Lonnie, these universities negotiating with these protesters on campus, specifically about divesting in companies that support Israel?
Yeah, I think it sets a very dangerous precedent. Number one, it shows that those students who clearly violate university and schools' policies will actually be benefiting from this type of behavior. Two, it sets a very difficult example for the students and those that may disagree that if you actually break the rules, you can actually greatly benefit. And the last thing is that, quite frankly, it's unfair for this kind of attack to happen while students are trying to just have a regular peaceful last few weeks of their semester, for them not to be able to get to classes, to not be able to sleep. This kind of disruption should not be in any way, kind of be seen by the university as a way to appease them. If anything, they should have acted earlier.
So what have you heard so far from some of the Jewish students on campus about how they've been feeling on campus and for their safety during all of these protests that we've been seeing, not just at DePaul, but really at these college campuses all over the country?
Yeah, all over the country, Jewish students, and for that matter, non-Jewish students, have felt quite threatened. But Jewish students in particular have been accosted. They've been pushed. They've been shoved. They've been spit on. They've been threatened. And as a result, their entire semester has